So the two legendary groups of the 90s, SWV and Escape, have joined forces on a reality TV show on Bravo TV, and things are heating up. Things have went so far south, and the drama is playing out all over social media. All of this is due to an extreme sibling rivalry between Escape members Tamika and Latasha Scott. Now, all of this unfolded when Tamika accused Tasha of stealing a whole $30,000 from her. Like I said, all of this spilled on social media and it's so messy. So of course that opened Pandora's box for other things to come out. Like Latasha's husband, alleged mistress, came out to state that she's been dealing with him for 5 years and she's allegedly currently pregnant. When I say things were messy, I meant that because Kandi allegedly knows the girl because a picture of Kandi and the alleged mistress is on her page from 2018. Now, this could just be a fan, but what are the chances? I mean, what? So it seems that Latasha's husband, Rocky Bivens, wanted to divert the attention off of him onto other people because he did an interview with Tasha K where he decided to expose Tasha's sister, Tamika, for a tape that she did in the past, as well as Kandi's husband, Todd.
You see what the big news is, right?
About you stealing the $30,000?
No, now the news is Tamika, my sister-in-law, was sending me naked pictures. Todd sucking a tranny, and Tiny in trouble. That's about to be the biggest news today. So
I see Rocky had enough common sense to keep it real cute and sweet when it comes to Tiny, because we all know T.I. don't play them games. But unfortunately, he did not spare Todd not one bit, and Todd cannot catch a break because he keeps being drugged into his wife's drama, because just last week he was being drugged left and right in Tamar's drama with Kandi. As the details surrounding Latasha stealing from Tamika circulated around social media for quite some time, Latasha decided to finally address the situation head on and give her insight on what all went down.
What's up, y'all? It's Tasha. I don't normally do this, but since everybody want to speak on it, and I ain't spoke on it, let's speak on it. Since it wasn't clear, let's talk about this $30,000 lie. Now keep in mind, I learned it was $30,000 when I watched it with y'all. Now let me get this straight. She said it was 10 years ago when she was pregnant with my niece. At the time, it was just me and my sister. We were Escape. Yeah, that was when Kandi didn't want to do it, so Tiny didn't want to do it. It was something about Jermaine not mentioning us in his interviews or whatever. So hold up, let me get this straight. This was supposed to happen before we filmed Still Kicking It. We made a lot of money. Then we went on to do the Great Escape Tour, and we made millions. I mean, we made more than $30,000 a night a piece. At this time, Kandi had told Tiny she wasn't going to throw the Scott sisters another bone, so that's when we had to change the name from Escape to Escape 3. And I don't even know why we changed our name from Escape to Escape 3, because she said it, I guess, but she don't own the name, so it's all confusing to me. But that's for a later date. And then Rocky brings more shows, we make more money, and I still ain't heard about no $30,000. For the record, I did not steal $30,000 from my sister. You know how she do. So now, I guess I'll just wait on my apology.
So as you can imagine, that got back to Tamika, so she had her rebuttal to say because she wanted to clear her name and she wanted to stop being called a liar and to just end this all with her final say. So she took to her Instagram story to share the link to her side of the story, calling it receipts, strategically placing Rihanna's song called Beat Better Have My Money.
I just need you to go somewhere and repent and ask God to forgive you and your husband who's out here being trifling, lying on me and my other group members, sending threat text messages from an anonymous number, but then turn around and do a video and say the same thing that's in the threat text. Girl, you and your husband got to be the most simplest criminals in the world. He's evil. A lot of stuff has happened over the years where I have protected my sister and her husband because I wanted a family. I didn't want to be an outcast. I didn't want them not to love me anymore. So I took a lot of things. So of course, I let things ride. But to have that thrown back in my face, my loyalty to my family, and for you to say that I'm a liar when y'all are around here trying to extort me and you're sitting here threatening me, saying that I need to apologize and say I made a mistake. No, I didn't make no mistake.
So Rocky throwing Tiny into the mix only instigated the case because now Tiny's mother ain't playing no games about her child and decided to team up with Tamika Scott to expose her sister Tasha of actually stealing the $30K. We talking receipts, y'all.
Well, I signed Escape, every one of them, up for sound exchange. And I sent all the paperwork, and Tamika, I did Latasha, everybody. And Tamika told me when we filled out the paperwork, she was living in New York then, and I still have the paperwork. And I filled it out, and I put it, her address was all in New York and everything. Tamika, my Tamika had gotten her checks, and it was a pretty big check then. I'm thinking it was like close to $20,000 the first time. They got a lot of checks though. And Tamika said, I didn't get my checks. And I said, well, you should have. I said, because Tamika's gotten several checks already. And so we called up to Sound Exchange. Me and Tamika was on the line, and we talked to, this guy's name was Joe Mo Grady. I think he's passed away, but back then he was the person we talked to. And he talked to Tamika, and she asked him questions about her checks, and he told her that her checks were going to Hampton, Georgia. And so after that, she said, well, I live in New York. How did this happen? And he sent her copies of the checks. I mean,
he sent copies.
He said something about your sister and Rocky, or Edward Bivens, because I really didn't know Rocky's name.
Right, he said Edward Bivens cashed the checks. But how was I supposed to get my money back?
The only way you could get your money back is you had to prosecute him. And you said, I don't want to do that.
Once we did do the investigation, well, they did. They sent information. Someone sent in, which was my sister. She changed the contract and put her name on the contract saying that she was my manager. And then they put they sent my passport. It was a lot of stuff.
I know what he said.
So Tamika's been sharing that she's been getting extorted by her sister and her sister's husband, Rocky. And this story just takes a turn for the worse as she goes into details surrounding that.
Oh yeah, one of the threats were that my tape, I have a sex tape that I did. Yes, when I was in my 20s, I did a sex tape. So, I didn't want to take it back to my house, so I gave the tape to my sister and told her to hold it. So, I can watch it every now and then, I just got to be honest with you. I was looking good on the tape. But anyway, I gave it to my sister. So I went back to get it. She said someone stole it out of her safe. So I said, okay, well, who got the safe code? Who got the code of your safe? She said only her and her husband. But somebody stole my tape. Now I'm about to be blackmailed by them. If I don't apologize, they're going to put the tape out. This is what the text says. So, you know what? You're not going to scare me. You got my tape, but you said you didn't have my tape. Now all of a sudden you want to extort me and put the tape out? And you're doing a gospel album. Yeah, it's just a lot of crooked stuff that has happened. And it's something about Todd, he said in the text. But it's crazy because things that were in that threat text, when my sister did her interview on her bus, dogging everybody out, talking about Kandi, talking about I lied, certain things that were in that threatened text was in what she said. Wow. They mentioned a tattoo that only she knew about. They mentioned the sex tape that mysteriously disappeared. They mentioned pictures that was never sent to him when he cracked my door phone by saying he was my ex-husband. They are evil, evil people, but I'm not going to allow you to keep sitting out here and giving false narrative about me. I've had your back. I was stupid. I did things and you throw it in my face and you want to do a video saying, oh, you know how she is. I owned up to that. When I was wrong, I apologize. This time, I'm not wrong.